So I was reading an article the other day by Patrick Carman, whose books have always kind of fascinated me because he's really starting to blend the lines between the ideas of written text and digital text in really interesting ways. And he's somebody who's written a lot too about the idea of transmedia, of the ways of bringing multimedia into the traditional book environment. And so a lot of his books now have links to videos that are online that push the narrative along. He's also really been experimenting with small books, or short books I should say, that you can read and experience on your iPod or iPad, and really thinking about all the boundaries that are there for writers and moving beyond them. And so it had me thinking a little about the kind of work that we do in the classroom of traditional story writing. Like right now, I know I'm in the middle of an adventure story project with my students, but in the past too, with particularly around digital picture books, I've really tried to teach my students, show them, and had them work around the idea of moving different kind of media into their books, of animation, of audio, of video, and thinking about the composing process when that happens for them, and when they use transmedia as composers and as writers. And so back when I began that kind of project, which I've written about here at Digital Is, there weren't a lot of examples out there of what that would look like. But Patrick Carman is one of those writers that I've kind of been paying attention to because I see him as somebody who's really thinking through the possibilities of what books and what writing might look like. And one of the things he notes in the article, I think, too, is the real sense of collaboration that goes into those kind of projects, where he can't do it alone. He has a whole team of media people who are working with him around story development, around the media elements that would go into a particular book. So that collaboration was really fascinating in a way, because we often think of writers as being the solitary person etching out the stories that come into their brain. So I think that's another interesting dimension to the idea of where books are going. The final thing this week is that the big news out in the world was that Apple had released a bunch of updates and new programs related to education, particularly around textbooks. But for me, what I was most fascinated with was the new iBook Creator, which is built around the idea of being able to create your own, not just textbooks, I guess, although I think that's what they're thinking of, but also books themselves. And not only that, but its ease of operation is that you can easily drop media, video, audio, and pictures right into the book creator itself, which eventually I think can open up the doors for our students to not only create things, but publish things as well, and see themselves as published writers. So a lot of really interesting things this week around transmedia that has me thinking, and hopefully has you thinking too. Thanks for listening to this video reflection for Digital Learning Day.